Some places surprise you. Even if you've been traveling nearly non-stop for 15 years like me, there are places that snap you out of your comfortable worldview, take your assumptions and your prejudices, and turn them upside down. They lead you to believe that maybe there is hope in the world. Senegal is one of those places.
I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder, found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la
At first, you see what you see in so many places in Africa. The noisy streets, busy markets, the controlled, consensual chaos of daily commerce. But look just a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, and you'll see it's so different here from its neighbors, from anywhere, really. A rebuke to those who paint a whole continent as a monolith of despair or Islam as something to be feared. Senegal turns simple-minded assumptions and prejudice on their heads at every turn.
How did you come to know and like and love this country?
I think it was just listening and watching and thinking, gosh, this is quite different to all the other countries I know. For a start, the language. You've heard Wolof?
Yes.
Sometimes you think people were quarreling.
Right.
And they're not. They're loving. They're laughing.
Ophebia Quist-Arcton is the NPR Africa correspondent. She's of Ghanaian descent, but has made Dakar, the Senegalese capital, her home for over 10 years.
The Senegalese are easy to get on with, and they care about you. And I guess that's what we all want as human beings, isn't it? To be loved, to be cherished, and I've found that here. I won't be here forever, because I'm from Ghana, but I will be visiting forever, because there are no two Senegals. I mean, c'est vraiment un pays extraordinaire. I think the Senegalese are extraordinary. They're open, they welcome you, and for me, that about makes a good place to live.
I fear I come with this assumption that Senegal will be yet another failed state, or yet another state that has gone through a really terrible post-colonial period that never really, that transitioned badly.
You'll know that Senegal is one of the few countries never had a coup d'etat. Mm-hmm. And I think that just makes such a huge difference to a nation. We're in a 90+% Muslim country.
Right.
Their first president, a Catholic, who governed for 20 years. And of course, there were elements of repression, but not as we've seen in many other African countries.
Europeans first reached West Africa in the mid-15th century, bringing with them the usual things: an industrialized slave trade, subjugation, the rule of the many by the very few. In the carving up of a continent, it was France that got Senegal. And commanding a favored status within France's West African colonial holdings, the Senegalese gained full rights as French citizens in the late 1800s. With independence in 1960, power passed bloodlessly and with stunning cordiality. Though overwhelmingly a Muslim country, Senegal elected Léopold Senghor, a Catholic, as their first president. And from that time on, Senegal has enjoyed a moderate political and religious climate unique almost anywhere in the world.
Well, food is great when cultures meet, because the colonial power brought their food culture. I think that's what makes great food. And Senegal is great for that because of its geographical location. It's a crossroad. I think that's what makes the food quite unique here.
Pierre Cham is a chef, restaurateur, and cookbook author who was born and raised here in Dakar. His books are absolutely fundamental references when investigating Senegalese cuisine.
This is Senegalese favorite fish. It's called chof. It kind of tastes like grouper, so I think we should have it. Grilled fish.
Senegal has famously delicious food, flavors and often ingredients that should be eerily familiar to any fan of Southern cooking. We meet at Cour de Cassation Beach, serving food just the way I like it. A shack on the water, catch of the day, cooked up out back.
This whole thing is illegal, actually.
Right.
They don't have
But
a
I mean, they
license.
continuously operate. I mean, it's
But every
technically
once in a while I come and it's closed, the police shuts them down.
right, and then they come back.
And then they come back, It's,
Oh, these are supposed to be good, right? This is local beer.
It's a
It's
local
the finest of the local beer.
well, it's considered the people's beer. It's the cheapest one.
Oh, well,
Yes.
figures. I'm a cheap date. You want to hide these?
Actually,
and,
they just put it under the table, actually.
you know what I'm going to do? Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Welcome to Dakar.
Thank you. So, I'm really interested in your story. I mean, you were born here,
Yeah, right here, Dakar.
right here in Dakar.
Yeah.
Went to New York.
Yes.
I mean, I'm jumping ahead some, but
Yeah. First job in New York was a restaurant job, like
Of course.
every immigrant.
Right.
I was a busboy actually, but from a busboy, just fell in love with what was happening behind the kitchen. Because, I come from a culture where kitchen is a women activity, so it's like I'd never seen men cooking.
what was the type of cuisine you were learning?
Mostly American, continental American, and
Yeah.
then it turned into Jean-Claude was French bistro.
Right.
From Jean-Claude, boom, opened around the corner. It was like early
Wait a minute,
90s.
boom, on Spring Street.
On Spring Street.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, I used to work at that store. Before it was called WPA. So we work in the same restaurant kitchen.
Same kitchen.
Downstairs,
basement
kitchen was downstairs. Yeah.
I can't believe this, man, because Boom was really the defining moment for me. And Boom had like this global ethnic / Italian.
So you saw a window to start introducing West African flavors.
Yeah,
And it worked. People were receptive to that.
absolutely, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tonight, we're having yassa, made with the local fish called chof. Cooked simply, on the bone, wrapped in foil, and steamed over the fire. Served with a mignonette-type sauce of onions.
Oh, yeah.
Grilled mussels, sea urchin.
Grilled mussels, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm starving. I mean, I'm really hungry. So, what distinguishes Senegalese cuisine from the neighbors?
I think we have the best food in the continent.
You've traveled in the American South? I mean, you notice some things about the food?
That's familiar.
It's
familiar.
I mean, look, like shrimp and grits. Okay, I mean, I've eaten shrimp and grits in Africa many times. I mean, they call it something else.
Exactly. I think the most interesting part of American food is our contribution.
How did you feel when you first turned on TV and you see some, rich white lady and she says, well, we're about to do, this is an old family recipe, an American classic, a traditional favorite. And I said, wait a minute, that's
mine.
that's mine. I mean, happy, proud, pissed off, what?
Oh yeah, proud, happy too. No, not pissed off. No, I wasn't never pissed off. I thought, I think food is such a great way of uniting people. It's like breaking barriers. Food is not only about feeding yourself here. In Senegal, it's a whole culture. The most important value is what we call teranga. The more you share, the more your bowl will be plentiful. It's not how much you have, it's how much you give. That's what matters in Senegal. So Teranga is that culture.
The call to prayer, 5 times a day, every day, but Friday at 2 p.m. is the most important. Dakar shuts down as people head to the mosque. The invocation of the muezzin reverberates throughout the city. The mosques fill to capacity. People spill onto the sidewalks and streets. They pray where they can. In Senegal, the majority of people are Sufi Muslims, practicing a mystic form of Islam, which is often considered more tolerant.
Senegal is very different from other countries. We are very tolerant. We also have, in Senegalese family, Christian married to Muslim, Muslim married to Christian. So you don't really know exactly who's Christian, you don't really know who's Muslim.
It is a comfortable assumption that Islam is oppressive to women, that it allows no room for personal expression, that it forces women to hide themselves. These ladies, however, make that argument more complicated. Fama Diouf is a photographer. Umi Nador is a journalist and television presenter. Minyel Tall is an entrepreneur and owner of a group of salons. As the country changes, many, if not most, have adopted the cultural values and styles of the West. However, 2 of these women have chosen to wear the traditional hijab.
A lot of people who watch this, particularly women, look at the hijab in particular as an instrument, at very least as an instrument of male oppression. What would you say to them?
For me, religion is a personal thing. And I decided to get this. So why people keep on asking me every day, why?
Well, I think the simple answer is that what to you is a personal lifestyle choice looks too much of the world like a political choice.
It is a choice for me.
Yeah.
So some of Senegalese girls, they have choice to wear Western clothes. I have also the right to wear Arab fashion.
In a way, the reason behind it for every Muslims will be modesty. Whether you come from a rich background or a poor background, people should not judge you on the way you dress. She doesn't want you to be like, oh my gosh, I loved her hair. Oh, the earrings. Oh, the watch. No. You see us as something threatening, but we are just here in peace.
What about women's roles here traditionally? In many of the African countries that I've been to, often you will see the man walking up front and behind the wife and the children, you know, carrying the bucket of water or, you know, laden down, doing the work.
I mean, here in Dakar, you're not gonna see it.
You say that with determination.
Oh yeah, I am definitely sure for that. Okay.
As if you will personally ensure that you won't.
Yes. Seriously, I think it's time for women to change the face of Senegal.
Why not now?
They're not ready for that right now.
Why not? What's missing?
You will have powerful women, like arguing for what we call parité here, so gender balance. And then you take that same woman and you tell her that her son is supposed to start cooking and doing the laundry. Laundry is even worse.
Sorry, what's wrong with that?
So for a Senegalese woman, taking care of her man and treating him as a king is part of who she is, and she's taking proud out of it.
It's too easy to be a boy here in Senegal. Nothing.
There's been men in the position of presidential, but we can have also a woman in the head of Senegal. If we don't try, we will never know.
Sometimes we get lucky. We get to do things on this show just because it's a show, that are frankly awesome. Like this, a small restaurant in Dakar. The delicious smells of Senegalese cooking coming from the kitchen. A band.
Si madu umuge nangana lo ofete madu nyana duga nangana lo fete. Dekaliko Jelati fi tayn bole ko muju so alage si biru gonna ne ñu bokku
Youssou N'Dour, one of the most beloved musicians on the African continent, famous throughout the world for blending traditional music of the region with Cuban rumba, American jazz, and R&B. Mbalak, as it came to be known, has had an enormous influence on musicians worldwide, like that Sting guy, Tracy Chapman, and St. Bruce of Asbury, and most famously, his frequent collaborator, Peter Gabriel.
Start to talk about you when you were age 12, when you started to perform professionally.
Yeah.
But did you come from a musical tradition?
My mom, she's a griot. Griot are the storytellers. They are also singers, rappers, and everything. And I grew with my grandmom. She was a big singer. She gave me a lot of things. And from there, going to the school for 2 years, then left the school and start my career.
Tonight we are having a beef mafe, which is a stew thickened with ground peanuts. There are similar preparations throughout West Africa, but the Senegalese version is particularly great. Sear the beef, cook the onion, garlic, peppers, and carrots, deglaze with ground peanuts and broth, bringing up all that good stuff from the pan, then simmer until tender and awesome. Serve hot over rice.
Wow.
Ah.
That looks good.
That's good. Good. Thank you.
Wow, this is very, very good.
The symbol of connection Mali and Senegal is the mafe. These things you can appreciate here, you can appreciate in the Mali also.
So what's the future?
Future?
The future, 20 years from now. Where will Senegal be?
What I hope is in 20 years, Senegal is going to be the place for great and big contribution of what we call Islam.
Do you think there's any danger of the kind of radical Islam that we see taking hold in many places in Africa?
All these people who are using the religion, Muslim religion, to do bad things, I think Senegal have an example. I think this country have models of the religion. This country, you know, you are here, I'm doing my local bisap, and you are with your beer. And in country, 95% Muslim. And I think this example can help the world.
I hope so. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Jërëjëf. Merci, thank you.
time stopped. That's what it seems like in the city of Saint Louis when the sun is at its highest and the streets are empty. 160 miles up the coast from Dakar, the one-time capital was a hub for all French West Africa, an important port at the mouth of the Senegal River.
S'il vous plaît, un baguette comme ça.
Every culture has an iconic, much-loved street food, the kind of thing you yearn for when you're away. We have our dirty water hot dogs in New York. Here, they have nadambe.
Nambe, s'il vous plaît.
What people have described as a bean sandwich, but what is really a spread of spicy lentils on a baguette. You buy your baguette at the bakery, bring it over to the nice lady. She slathers on the good stuff, and there you go. And it is indeed addictively delicious.
Je crois qu'on ne peut bien comprendre le cas de Saint-Louis, la situation de Saint-Louis, on ne peut bien le comprendre que si on connaît bien la géographie. Parce que ce qui a fait cette ville, de mon point de vue, c'est son fleuve. Parce que c'est un fleuve qui dessert 5 États, 5 pays. Mali, Mauritanie, Sénégal, bien sûr, Guinée.
So everything came through here.
Qui sont
Attitudes about many things are decidedly different here. Where many post-colonial cultures are ambivalent or conflicted about their bloodlines, picking black or white to identify with, here people are proud of who they are and where they came from. All of it.
I'm curious why the post-colonial experience in Senegal is so different than the post-colonial experience almost everywhere else.
I think that the pre-colonial and the colonial experience in Senegal is different also. Not only the post-colonial experience, because Saint Louis had lots of influences, I think.
Arab, Portuguese.
Before that, Portuguese and English first.
Yes.
They were here. And after that, from the Morocco.
My feeling also is that because we're at the crossing of various roads, independently from the colonization period, makes the Senegalese people very open-minded, very good negotiator also.
Marie-Caroline Camara is a Saint Louis métisse, Senegalese father, French mother, and she's hosted a lunch with some friends and colleagues, all of whom consider themselves Senegalese first before anything.
And my feeling compared to other African countries is that maybe it's come also from the Wolof woman, because the Métis family here, people were really married. But at least
between Wolof and other groups.
You know, compared to West Indies, where even if people had, some white people had children with their slaves, they were not recognized. Here, all these children and unions were recognized. Yes. So for me, that is very special.
The most richest in Senegal is our culture. It's not petrol, oil, or other thing. I think that is our culture, our type of life, our customs.
Music.
Music, yes, our culinary art.
Okay, so we're eating mulet farci à la Saint-Louisienne.
Lovely.
It's a big fish from the river.
Mullet farci, stuffed mullet, the fish deboned and filled with a seafood farce of fish, herbs, vegetables, and bread, and baked.
It's an amazing meal, delicious.
Amazing meal?
Yes, really good. So, how are things in Senegal today?
How things? What kind of things?
Is the environment good for business in Senegal now? Is it getting better? I mean, there seems to be a lot of money coming in Dakar. You see buildings going up. Somebody's building.
The key thing for me will be the development of businesses. And because when you look at all these young people in Saint Louis, and there is no companies to employ them, let the young people take a big part of the power, which is not in our tradition, but we need the young people to be strong.
If you could compare yourself to someplace else in another major city in the world,
Yes.
the New York of Western Africa?
The Hong Kong of West Africa.
Oh, no, ouch. Yeah, you're right.
Kuilal ma demba, demba machangayo, ni kuilal that side. Kuilal sama domje, ayo be yo. Kuilal ma demba, demba machangayo, ni kuilal that side. Kuilal sama domje, feral sai rongoñ.
C'est trop beau.
Money. You like it, I like it, we all like it. And there's a flood of green pouring into the developing world. Greed-head foreign speculators for sure, but also entrepreneurs, often educated abroad, but returning to build businesses around a growing middle class. Telecoms to financial institutions to the restaurants that grow up around them. Maquis were once neighborhood working-class dive bars. Now, many are becoming more respectable drinking establishments. The Brooklynization of Africa begins.
Cheers.
I joined Pierre, his film professor brother Christian Cham, and their friend Patma Jauji, a local businessman.
Who is joining the middle class in Senegal? Where are they coming from?
Most of the people are local people who now get proper training.
Right.
And then you have a small group of guys like us who went abroad and are coming back.
Now, a phenomena that I have seen in other countries in West Africa is one where people leave either because of war, oppression, necessity, financial, education, and when they come back, there is resentment. How do they feel about people like you who go and come back?
You know, unlike most other places, over here, there's a tremendous amount of pride in your family. Senegalese rarely go and just cut off.
Yeah, it's true. No, that's true. But in addition to people who go, they send money back home.
There's more money coming from the immigrants than the money that we receive from the World Bank or IMF or everything like that.
Why is this the case in Senegal? Where does this attitude come from?
It's just the nature of the social fabric. It's not an individualistic society.
What about the French colonial experience? That too, was it different than?
It's
very different from Senegal to the other countries.
Because the French used Senegal as their anchor for their colonial expansion. The French then said, okay, you Senegalese, we're gonna train you up to borderline high school education, and you're gonna be the forefront, the fulcrum of our administrative service. So if you go to Côte d'Ivoire, you go to Burkina, a lot of the guys who are running the administration were Senegalese.
I think one of the major differences between Senegal and the other countries, not that we're better or anything like that, but in Senegal, it's probably one of the only countries in West Africa, or probably in all Africa, where I can be from one ethnic group and he can be from a different ethnic group. But we can talk without French, using a local language and understand each other, because everybody speaks Wolof.
I happen to believe that this world is going to be a better place when more cultures are actually given a chance to be put at the table.
Each generation has its mission. We have a saying in one of the say, Yalla Bakhna, I mean, God is great. And we always say it when there is no solution. We say, oh, Yalla Bakhna, like you leave it in the hand of God. But we tell people, this is in our hand. This is our future and the future of the next generation coming.
As relatively good as things have been for Senegal, democracy, as it turns out, requires regular maintenance, diligence needed, and the willingness to stand up. Jilly Baghdad is a musician and activist who's doing what, well, the last poets and Chuck D and others have done before him. Say things that are important, loudly, and often. They call him debiteri, and debi is generally grilled spiced lamb, hacked into pieces and served on grease-stained paper with grilled onions and mustard on the side.
Well, that was quick. From the beginning, I mean, was there always like a social justice, political component to what you were doing musically?
From day one. The first thing we did was go do a campaign called My Voting Card, My Weapon. And we did songs and we did mobile concerts all over the country to raise awareness. And it was the bum rush in the registering spots. Everybody went to register. That's a step. As little as it could seem, that's a step into being conscious of what your power is.
In 2012, then-President Abdoulaye Wade fell victim to the maybe I should be president for life syndrome that afflicts so many of his neighbors. He proposed amending the Constitution so that he could run for a third term, as well as creating a new vice presidential position which many feared he intended for his son. Jilly and many, many young people like him were having none of it. They formed a group called Y'en a marre, or Fed Up. Using music as a draw and a hook, they threw enormous rallies across the country, made aggressive and innovative use of social media, all in the cause of getting out the vote and shutting anti-democratic initiatives down. It worked.
I know that like with this civic movement that we started and raising awareness, I think the African Union of people can start from here because this is amazing. The new generation will learn from what we've done, and maybe the next president might not be a politician at all. You never know.
Obvious question, why don't you run for office?
No, I'm not an aspiring politician, not at all. But I can see myself helpful for my community. We have everything to emerge. It's about believing in ourselves and trusting ourselves that we can do it.
Lac Rose, known for its pink hue and salt harvesters, sits near the Senegalese coast. And not too long ago was also the finish line for a legendary Trans-African endurance race.
Okay? Yeah, great. No problem.
Driving up to 10,000 grueling kilometers from Paris, south through Spain, across Morocco, down the Western Sahara, all the way to, well, right here. The Paris-Dakar Rally tested its drivers like no other race, sometimes driving over 20 hours a day over ground like this.
So this is the same road that the rally Paris-Dakar took.
Jean Hazard is a Senegalese of Lebanese descent who grew up here watching the final stretch of the race. It was a galvanizing event for him. He has since completed the race himself 3 times.
So when I was young, I came with my parents to see the arrival of the Paris Dakar race.
Yeah.
That's why I like to make races.
It's been 8 years since specially modified true off-road vehicles with powerful engines and cutting-edge designs roared across the desert and through tiny African villages. I, of course, had to try out one of these beasts, and it's about as much fun as you can have while wearing pants.
Where am I going?
Turn. It's nice.
Just like this.
First time?
Good pace, yeah. It's like driving in snow.
Yes.
After terracing around for a few hours, it's traditionally chicken and beer on the beach. We're joined by Jean's fellow Paris-Dakar racers, Mamles Jallo and Abdou Cham.
My friend Mamles made 12 times the Paris-Dakar.
12 times?
Okay.
With bike.
Motorbike. On a motorbike? Yeah. Wow. So what happened? It stopped in...
The last race was in 8.
2007.
Yeah. In 2008, we were at the start, and we didn't start.
That's right.
We didn't
They
start.
canceled the race.
In 2008, officials shut the event down with racers from all over the world at the starting line, a response to the murder of 4 French citizens in Mauritania and to the discovery of potential terrorist threats against the race in the region. The race, now called the Dakar Rally, was moved off the African continent and currently runs much of the length of South America.
But will it come back? What do you think?
Here in Senegal?
Yeah.
Never.
Whoa!
I hope so.
Never.
Why? Why never?
Because these people, when they live, they did it not in a fair way.
So you think they don't deserve to have it back?
No.
But is there still racing here? Within the country? Within Senegal? I mean, you race.
We have, after South Africa, the second circuit in all over Africa. It's very, very, very important for us, for Africa, and it's exceptional for us. How do you like the chicken? It's okay?
Oh, man, it's good. Are you kidding me? Hitting it hard. So you told me before that if I wanted to, I could get in the car and drive to Saint Louis. That way.
That way.
How long will that take?
C'est plus court.
Flat out.
An hour and a half.
Let's go.
You're
Let me finish my chicken.
Pierre Cham's Aunt Marie is the matriarch of the family. She often hosts uncles, aunts, sons and daughters, friends and relatives from near and abroad.
Teranga is hospitality. That's the translation. But it's the most important value is really the way you treat the other. Love. You receive love. That's what Teranga is. So today you're our guest, so you'll be treated with our national dish.
Everyone comes together, often over this iconic dish, chebujan, which in Wolof means simply rice with fish. It's pretty much the national dish of Senegal. Today, it's Senegalese grouper, scored and stuffed with a mixture of garlic, parsley, and peppers, then slow simmered in a hearty tomato broth, infused with a funkatizing goodness brought by fermented conch and saltfish, served over rice and vegetables.
I'm going to watch you, and I'm going to do what you do.
Let's do it. Let's go.
The meal is eaten from one communal platter, an experience both fun and instructive, sustenance and life lesson.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that sauce is awesome.
Normally, children are not allowed to talk and to go too far in the middle of the plate.
So they got to eat around the edges?
So you will have an adult, the mother or an aunt or something, cutting pieces of fish or meat for them.
It's a way to teach them to be content with their portion. You know, not only children, but everyone. You have to imagine a triangle in front of you, and that's the triangle that is your limit to the bowl. Right. You have to chew slowly. You have to be patient. So all these values are taught when we eat around the bowl.
So if I were looking for a metaphor for a Senegalese society, this would be it?
This is it. This is Senegalese society. Senegal is a special country.
ñu bokk xalaat bokk gis-gis bokk yéene we Africa.
A few years back, I got the words, "I am certain of nothing," tattooed on my arm. It's what makes travel what it is, an endless learning curve, the joy of being wrong, of being confused. Africa, more than any other continent, needs to be seen by the world as both the place we all came from and where we are going.
Walk together, keep on walking. Chef Antonio, Wally Kuma, Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela, all you people.
So I'm trying to understand Buenos Aires. And I've only got a week.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
Kind of amazing they work, you know? I look at a plane, I'm figuring, I understand scientifically how they fly, but it doesn't look like it should work.
No, it doesn't.
That's a big hunk of metal.
Yeah.
And who are these people? Are they waiting for friends to arrive, or no? They're just here looking at planes.
Yes, it's popular. You come here and you watch a couple of planes come and go.
The whole family.
Yeah.
Buenos Aires, capital of Argentina, second largest country in South America. It's got a quirky, unique character all its own. It looks like no other place, and it feels unlike any other.
Silence.
Yeah, right? It's very pretty here. I mean, it's really beautiful. I'm glad I came in the summer. It's when it's quiet. It's got sort of a mournful, sad, sweet quality that I like. Fits with the architecture. Where does everybody go? Like now, where is everybody?
The city's empty. Month of January, everyone go for holidays.
January and February are the hottest months here, middle of summer. Most porteños who can afford it get out of town to cooler climes.
They go to Uruguay or Mar del Plata, which is our beach, or to Patagonia, or to the north. I have a home in Patagonia. Far away from any restaurant. It has no internet, no electricity, no phone.
I mean, it's a little antisocial. For a guy who's a communicator, you're all over television.
Yeah, I'm not very social.
Chef restaurateur Francis Mallmann is one of the biggest and most influential figures in Latin American gastronomy. A TV star, head of a restaurant empire, and now in middle age, gives delightfully few shits about anything unimportant.
This is a restaurant I love, Carlitos. He serves you whatever he has. There's no menu.
Of all the places in the world that Francis Mallmann can eat and has eaten, it's this place he wanted to take me to. Bodegon Don Carlitos.
It's him and his wife in the kitchen with the two daughters. There's nobody else, and they've been open for 45 years.
An unassuming family-run joint across from the soccer stadium.
So who are the customers ordinarily?
You know, it doesn't have prices. It's fun because you see very simple people, and if you look sort of wealthy and elegant, you will get a big check, and if not, you'll get a small check. That's the way it works. This is Carlitos. Carlitos.
What do you do, sir?
We can.
Thank you. Oh, beautiful. I will have this guy.
There are gods here besides tango and football, or soccer as we call it. There's beef. Porteños, as residents of Buenos Aires, are called like beef, and meat in general, but particularly beef.
That's fantastic. Man, I love this place already.
Yes, I love meat. I eat meat every day. La morcilla.
Now that's exciting. This is one of my favorite things on earth.
Le boudin.
Love it. Now, it's a proud country. I mean, one of the stereotypes is that Argentinians are too proud, that they're full of themselves, vain, proud. If this is so, why is psychotherapy so huge in this country? I mean, this is the kingdom of doubt.
You know, my kids have been to the shrink since they're 8 for a year or two. Because, you know, we'll go to the shrink and talk to someone who you don't know.
Right.
With whom you can say whatever you want. I did it myself a couple of years when I was 30.
I mean, it's an extraordinary thing because in many cultures, to confess that you need to even confide in someone is seen as a sign of weakness. Here, everybody does it and in no way frowned upon it. It's kind of cool. Because I could use somebody. I need somebody to talk to.
Have you ever done it?
I was a teenager. My parents caught me with drugs, and as part of the deal to stay out of trouble, I saw a therapist briefly.
Meet Mariana, my therapist. Argentina has the distinction of being home to more head shrinkers per capita than anywhere else in the world.
So, Tony, what brought you here?
What brought me here? Well, things have been happening. Like,
I will find myself in an airport, for instance, and I'll order an airport hamburger. It's an insignificant thing. It's a small thing. It's a hamburger, but it's not a good one. Suddenly, I look at the hamburger and I find myself in a spiral of depression that can last for days. George Orwell said something that really upset me. He talked about human beings are essentially tubes into which we shove food. And this is my job. I travel around the world with these people, and they turn on the cameras, and then for a certain period of time, my job is to shove food into my face. And
what's wrong with that?
You have to eat.
Wow, look at that. They're just not messing around here, right?
It's beautiful.
I mean,
no, it's perfect food.
wow. I mean, it's really unnecessarily delicious. What kind of food is this? Where is it rooted?
Between Italy and Spain, and then a bit of the gaucho too with the meat, the way he cooks it. And La Boca, this neighborhood, is very Italian. They say that this is where Tango was born, in this little street 2 blocks away here called Caminito.
And where does that come from emotionally? The need for tango, why here?
Tango is extremely sad. It's about love, about despair, it's about poverty. And the dance, I think, is one of the most elegant dances in the world, you know, when they barely move and suddenly they stop. When they stop, you know, you tremble because you feel that the man is sort of inside of her almost. And then he goes on.
It's crushingly lonely. I travel over 200 days a year. So I had this dream again that I've had as long as I can remember. I'm stuck in a vast, old Victorian hotel with endless rooms and hallways, trying to check out, but I can't. I spend a lot of time in hotels, but this one is medicine because I just can't leave it. There's another part to this dream always where I'm trying to go home, but I can't quite remember where that is.
Are you alone?
I'm alone in this dream, yes.
In my heart, what I like of Buenos Aires in Argentina is that we take time to sit down and have lunch every day.
Totally. Yeah, I'm always hungry.
And they finish lunch and they stay at the table for 1 hour more with their friends. And then they go to work or they have a siesta.
Then a nap.
And then a nap.
Very important.
Yeah.
Totally, I'm on board with that. On the outskirts of town, in the roaring summer heat, the fires still burn hot. The tempting miasma of meat fills the mid-afternoon air. On the parrilla, many parts of once living things sizzle and char for the pleasure of those porteños who remain in town. Like Mariana, my new therapist.
Wow, what?
Wow.
Wow, I don't think that's enough.
Meat is king, and fire, and we shall go hard in honoring the flame.
God, I don't know where to attack this first.
All of us, we call it achuras.
Achuras.
Kidney,
Right.
sausage, which is chorizo, black sausage, which is the morcilla here.
And this is the famous intestine, right?
After a week or two here, even confirmed carnivores like myself will fall to their knees, praying for a vegetable.
So, is this normal, like lunch for people?
Yes, completely.
Tell me, what did you do during your time in Buenos Aires?
Ate a lot of meat.
Yeah.
You have any vegetables in this country at all?
You know, there are a lot of vegetarian people here.
Yeah, right.
And they...
Chicken.
A chicken is a vegetable, isn't it?
Why is therapy so big in Argentina? Because, I mean, the country also has this gaucho tradition, a very macho tradition.
Yes, but that's what therapy is for. They can do it there.
They can. So it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
See, as New Yorkers, we tell each other, you tell strangers all of your problems. We overshare.
Well, people here don't overshare.
No. I feel like Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
If he stayed in nice hotel suites with high thread count sheets, that would be me. I feel kind of like a freak, and I feel very isolated. I communicate for a living, but I'm terrible at communicating with people I care about. I'm good with my daughter. An 8-year-old is about my level of communication skills, so that works out.
Oh, my God.
That was just the vegetable course.
Yes.
Later, I'm gonna have a nap. That would be a porteño thing to do. Like after, yeah, have a nice.
It's more like people from the provincias, from the.
Right. Well, that's me. I'm a country. No, I'm not. I'm not a country boy.
No, you're a city boy.
I'm a city boy, but I do like naps. So regular people, all summer long, you're stuck in Buenos Aires. What do you do?
Go for a barbecue. Go out for dinner. We have a lot of shows and concerts and music.
So what's the best season, the best time of year for you? The best money, the best business?
That is summer.
In the summer?
In summer, yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
What? Because it's tourists.
European people, or from the north, from the States, Canada.
Right.
As it's called now, they come into the summer.
Right.
All hail the waiter, the career server, that great disappearing species of proud, well-trained specialists, members of the service industry who trace their roots back to the great hotels of Europe and beyond into history. Those who remain, like this man Mario, we salute you.
So how many years in the dining room? A lot.
Yeah, I started when I was 70 years old in a restaurant.
17?
17 years.
The people who work in the kitchen, one type of personality. The people in the dining room, you need to be more sociable.
I like very much to speak with whole people from the whole world. When I speak English, German, I speak German very well, Italian, Portuguese.
A friend of mine who's worked in the business a long time, he tells me, whenever a man comes into the restaurant with a woman, they never say, oh, Mr. Good to see you again.
No.
You don't know if the woman is his wife or someone else. And if you say, oh, so good to see you again, they say, what do you mean again? I thought you said you'd never been here.
I remember when I was 18 years old, I was in a restaurant working, come a man with his wife and say, how are you, Dr. Rodriguez?
Right.
Always do you go to the nightclub?
Ooh.
Shh. That man won't kill you.
Right, big problem now.
No, of course, no, never must say that.
If you're a cheap tipper, by the way, or rude to your server, you are dead to me. You are lower than whale feces. 20, 30 years ago, waiting was a profession.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Everybody learned certain skills. If you need to bone out a fish, serve the fish at the table side.
I make everything.
Right. So steak flambe.
Yeah.
No problem.
No problem, no.
Right. Crêpe Suzette?
Crêpe Suzette, of course. Everything I do it, yeah.
All of this, of course.
Yeah, I know.
Fold the napkins.
Yeah, all that. Yeah. I remember when I started in Rome, there was 5 captains, 6 waiters, 5 assistant waiters, sommelier, assistant sommelier. It was quite different. Nowadays it's more simple. All come in dish, they put them in here.
In France, no more. You don't see it.
No more, no?
No, in the Michelin restaurants, you don't see it.
Nowadays people are more simple, yeah.
Because they're easy.
Yeah. Easy, very easy. They say, keep me red wine, keep me white wine, no problem which one. This work was I do in waiter, slowly melting away. Once I finish, I suppose 15 years or 20 years more, it's finished.
To the old style. Cheers.
Cheers.
Porteños see themselves as? I mean, do they say, well, I'm Argentine, I'm from Argentina, or do they say, well, my people came from Italy, or my people came from...
We are from Spain. The Porteño itself, they think there is from another planet. No, I'm Porteño, I'm from Buenos Aires. I'm different from anybody else.
I tell stories for a living. I write books. I make television. A reasonable person does not believe that you are so interesting that people will watch you on television. I think this is evidence of a narcissistic personality disorder to start with.
Do you think you had a narcissistic personality before you start to be like a public person, or after that?
Before, I think before, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think always.
So
It's nothing to be done.
I know that the morning after you'll become a monster that brings me up and things about to blow. A monster. Monster! 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 Monster!
Spread of so many thoughts, Buenos Aires. You have, the life of the musicians, which is very important here, the tango, all the artists. Then you have sort of the corporate world, which is always boring. And on the other edge, you have in the very poor neighborhoods, all these hundreds of thousands of children that run behind a ball and they want to be soccer players. And they have a dream, it's all they have. And they know the faster they run, the harder they hit that ball, the better they move around it, maybe they will get it.
Chef, you do this all the time?
Like once a week.
This late at night?
Yes.
It's way too late for me.
Restaurant subculture, depending on where you are, can revolve around a number of activities, not all of them wholesome in my experience. The business is hard, the hours are long, the camaraderie intense. After a long day and night of work, the mind turns to soccer? Okay, this is a distinguishing feature I was frankly unprepared for.
So everyone here work for you?
Well, we have like 2 teams, He's the chef of Le Grill. It's a parrilla.
Yes.
And close, like 2 blocks, we have Chila, and I'm the chef.
So of course.
And we have the 2 teams.
Right.
Chef Soledad Nardelli, along with her husband and business partner, owns and operates Chila Restaurant, where she still works the line.
We, as a country, we are ignorant of our culture, traditions. We have a lot of products, not only meat.
Un bife solo a punto, por favor.
It's 1 a.m., and tonight it's a blood match between the crews of Chilo and its sister restaurant, Le Grill.
We share a lot of products with Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay. We have the big influence of immigrants like Germans, Swiss people, Netherlands. So that is our identity.
Rich traditions.
Yeah. Do you want a drink?
What do you have?
We have Fernet.
Fernet.
We've been drinking a little bit.
Oh, good.
We are used to drink aperitifs,
Right.
the digestives. It's good for your stomach.
Right.
You know? You know?
So it's healthy.
Yes.
I ain't playing no soccer. Alcohol and meat in tube form, however, are more familiar to me.
The chorizos are homemade. 40% pork, 40% cow, and all the cuts are dry aged. So,
Sweet. So it's got some funk.
yeah.
I don't know whether it's the television or the 30 years in the restaurant business. I never understood how normal people lived. You know, when I was a chef, I worked all day. I hung out all night with other cooks, other restaurant people. You know, like I really love like barbecuing on vacation in the backyard. I love cooking for my daughter. I like doing these really normal, mundane things because I never got to do them before. So you've been in the restaurant business a long time?
I started here in Buenos Aires
Right.
18 years ago.
Right, but wait a minute. Cooking was not your original plan. What was the original plan?
Law.
Was law.
Yes.
Yeah. But why would you do such a foolish thing? I mean, there's no money in cooking most of the time. Back then, it was a business dominated entirely by men.
I was not feeling good with myself, you know? I said, maybe I'm going to be a really good lawyer, but I'm not going to be happy in my life.
So right away, you said, okay, I'm going to cook, and you went to Bocuse, to Institute Paul Bocuse.
Yes, at Lyon. Yes.
Yes, it's a tough school.
Yeah. Well,
Very traditional.
For me, the experience of France was really hard.
Oh, I can only imagine.
You know, Latin American woman from Argentina, speaking less few French. I cry all night. Call my mom, and she told me like, Sole, go on, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I always said, when I have the opportunity of running my own kitchen, I'm not going to repeat any of the things that they did to me. So, till now, I did it okay, you know?
Good for you. You know, all these tough guys, they're all big babies anyway. Like the first women who came into kitchens when I started, back when it was all men, one woman would come in and pretty soon all the guys are like going crying to them with their problems. It's like, you know, please be my mommy, you know, you know, tell me what to do, you know.
I think we're ready for chorizos, eh? Thank you so much.
The delicious choripan is an iconic street food around here for reasons that are immediately obvious once you bite into one.
Oh, that's good. I needed this badly.
This is Argentinian style. It's beer with Coke.
Beer? No, that's wrong, man. No.
I'm old for this.
Who's here? It's summer, right?
Well, that's a very interesting question. A lot of
lower class people that cannot go out for a holiday.
Right.
They stay here
Make
and
their own
they
holiday.
make the party happen in their own neighborhood.
Now, how long is Carnival season here?
And it goes on every weekend for a month.
A month?
Yeah.
Carnival is different in Argentina, decidedly different. In every barrio in Buenos Aires, there are celebrations, with over 100 murgas, as they're called, taking to the streets, traveling from barrio to barrio by bus, doing their thing.
So they're like neighborhood teams?
Yes, every neighborhood has one or two of these murgas,
Right.
and they start in one neighborhood and then go to another and then go to another, and it's healthy competition between every neighborhood.
These guys are Murga Los Amantes. They're from La Boca, which, according to the guidebook, is an old industrial neighborhood in the Port District known for historic buildings and no small amount of crime.
Is it like a parade, a block party?
It's a little bit of each. This is not like Rio Carnival.
Right.
You have a huge parades with lots of money in.
Right. You know, we do a lot of different scenes, most of the meals, or I drive sports cars, I jump out of planes. But there are a few things that terrify me. Carnivals, I'm afraid of clowns. Horrified. People dancing, crowds. You know, I've lived a long life without ever going to Carnival in Rio or Mardi Gras. I don't like it. There's something frightening about crowds, too. I mean, what if they all decide to do one thing at the same time? It starts as a party. 5 minutes later, it's like Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pity that you couldn't enjoy the whole carnival stuff.
Yeah. Okay, this is perfect for me. I'm sitting down, I'm drinking beer. It's all right, honestly.
It has a common roots with Brazilian Carnival and Uruguay Carnival, but in each place took a different way. In Brazil, it was more for the spectacle and the lights. And here, it's more about the pride of the neighborhood.
Thank you for that. this romanticism, this sadness, this love of sadness. What was it about the history of Argentina that allowed this to take root?
From a difficult life. From a life, you know, living in a little room, but always with the glory and the dream of the night out, of the man who has his beautiful hat for Saturday night. And then next morning, you know, reality's back.
Who's left in the city? Who else stays?
Who else stays? Well,
Construction workers?
Construction workers. This building, it's a big one. It's 18 stories.
Right.
It's in the middle of Capital Federal, from the center of Buenos Aires.
Right.
So it's going to be an expensive building.
So who's going to live here?
I don't know. People with money.
I mean, you know, how's the economy?
The economy, it's crazy. It's
some people doing good, some people not doing good.
Yeah, the middle class has been disappearing.
They tell me that everybody in Argentina sees a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Is this true?
It's true.
Everybody?
Yeah. Well, not everybody. People that can afford it. But
right.
So let's go back to the first question I asked. What brought you here?
I'd like to be happy. I'd like to be happier. I should be happy. I have, you know, incredible luck.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be able to, you know, look out the window and say, hey, life is good.
And you don't?
No. I'm not going to get a lot of sympathy from people, frankly. I mean, I have the best job in the world, let's face it. I go anywhere I want. I do what I want. Look, that guy over there loading sausages on the grill, that's work. This is not so bad. It's all right. I'll make it.
Yeah.
If people work hard like they do in construction, it is expected that they be well-fed. And in Buenos Aires, well-fed means, yeah, you guessed it.
How often do they do this?
Once a week, on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do it every day, but economic, you know, the meat is really expensive.
Expensive now.
I always remember, you know, walking on the street and you smell the...
You smell it from the construction sites?
Yeah.
So most construction sites, they do like this?
Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Nico, lead singer of Octophonic.
Hola.
Like nearly every porteño,
sweet,
he knows good beef
Gracias.
and where to find it.
It's good. Unless you work hard, you need a big hunk of meat.
It's, you know, from the low chain of the meat, but it still has a lot of fat, and it's
good for you.
Yeah. He says that we need some wine, red wine.
Yeah, right.
I saw some construction sites that they have.
They serve wine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
I guess the owners of this construction especially are strict about it.
I'd be a little nervous.
Yeah, of course.
Guys up on the top floor
50
drinking.
meters. Yeah.
So where are most of these guys from?
¿Son todos de acá ustedes? ¿O paraguayo también? ¿Vos sos paraguayo? We got one from Paraguay here. A lot from Argentina.
From Buenos Aires or from outside of Buenos Aires?
Usually from inside, from the provinces.
And how long has the job lasted?
I was asking, it started 1.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time. How much work is there? A lot, a little? I mean, after this, another job?
¿Tienen trabajo después de esto, no? ¿Terminan este y van a otro? Yeah, I guess they jump from construction to construction.
So they're working regular, always?
Yeah.
Seguir y seguir la huella. Es demasiado aburrido. Seguir y
It's hard to get back to work after having...
Yeah, I just want to go home and sleep.
de mi carreta nunca los voy a engrasar.
flying out, just a few hours.
And you're going now next to Rome? It's such a beautiful city.
No, next, Brazil, then to Japan, Nashville, Vietnam, Houston. You know, like there's the evil cheeseburger that sets me off, the evil hamburger. Suddenly I'm super depressed for days. It's like that with the good stuff too. I have a couple of happy minutes there where I'm thinking, life is pretty good. This is cool, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. It's like the movies, but cheaper.
Yeah, right?
The pilot of the airplane saying hi to the kids.
Wow. What's in the box, man? What's in there?
Here we have Amargo Obrero, which is like workman's bitter. It's a kind of vermouth.
Yeah, I'll have some of that.
So, how are you doing therapy?
My therapy? Oh, I feel all better now.
Yeah?
All better. What do you think? How, I mean, is there hope for me?
Wow.
Oh, boy. Oh, that doesn't sound promising.
I think what is good is that you start thinking or keep thinking about what's wrong in your life, what do you want to change, and especially what do you feel you can't change.
I was kind of hoping for a prescription for, like, morphine. Was this an unreasonable expectation?
I think you should keep doing therapy too.
Yeah, me too. You're probably right.
Yes.
I love staying in Buenos Aires in summer when the streets are empty. I love the city. I was born here, this huge metropolis where a lot of cultures melt. People from all Latin America, people from Asia, people from Europe. The personality of Buenos Aires is made from the melt of cultures.
When I get back to New York, I'll tell you, I'm gonna get off that plane, I'm gonna make myself a big salad. Excuse me, kid, sorry for the language. All right, what do you say we get some sausages?
Yeah.